Pouring up some electrolytes.
Ooh, this workout is brought to you by Memento.
Memento Electrolyte.
Thank you.
One of the newest in the game. Now selling at 8 well.
I like to get a little electrolyte before the workout.
During the workout too. Important.
During. After.
A little different segment, kind of a podcast, kind of a vlog shoot today. We'll talk through it as we go, but we're all going to be doing different things. We got our new electrolyte here, courtesy of Brian Altamirano, who's on the podcast, formulated to a T with the balance of the right ratio of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium. Got great balance to help absorb the electrolytes of fermented amino acids, which is actually an alternative to sugar, because you need something to bind and absorb into the cell to properly hydrate and utilize those electrolytes. So I've been loving this product. Tastes good, very smooth, no aftertaste. So we'll be drinking that today, which we've been pretty much doing every workout. But
as you look it up too, great ratio between sodium, potassium. So it just makes the product even that much better. Better for hydration, better for uptake. But here too, I think what's important to notice is that we're getting to go do two things at once. We kind of talk about how we habit stack and try to find ways to get things done at the same time, thinking about working, thinking about having to then get some movement in, get some exercise in. Today, we got to shoot some podcasts and said, you know, it would be a good idea. Why don't we shoot some podcasts, but also get some workout in, because if it didn't happen now, it was never going to happen. So think about that in your day too, right? When you have a work call that doesn't need to be on video, can you get a walk in, right? Can you do something to get a workout in?
Yeah.
Right? While you can take advantage of other time. Just being efficient as possible as you can.
And it didn't happen yesterday either. I know Tyler got a lift in. I didn't get a lift yesterday. I wasn't able to, but just that. I texted him. I was like, let's film while we're lifting, because just that reason. We got to figure out how to manage our time sometimes, and we're gonna do a little something of like our own day kind of, which we'll throw in. I'm doing kind of all upper body today, along with the Mondays and Wednesdays in our studio, right? Monday is more deadlift, bench press dominant, low pull, upper push. Wednesdays, lower push, upper pull. So back dominant exercises and squatting dominant, leg quad dominant exercises on Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, right? But I'm throwing in an upper day. Normally I'll get some dynamic plyo work, starting to run now as well. And that's more so for me to feel good, get my cardiovascular back up. I'm also just playing baseball this summer for fun, right? It's just a personal thing, like let loose, feel like an athlete a little bit. Tyler would play football, but he'll tell you that he can't anymore. He's not athletic anymore. He can't really move like he used to, so a little older. And
don't believe that shit. You see this? Move. Who wants to, get tackled? No one's trying to do that.
That's
but
true.
My program, in a similar way, I'm probably strength training about 4 to 5 times a week, running our 8 well Mondays and Wednesdays. I run those on actually Monday, Tuesday. So getting our low pull workout from the gym, low pull, upper push, and our low push, upper pull workout. On Wednesday, I do something a little more dynamic, maybe hit some of the cardio machines, go for a short run, more of a speed day. Thursday, Friday I come in for a nice upper pump day. Friday, today, coming in for a lower day, a little lower pump, gotta concentrate on the legs. Higher volume though today than I would hit on that low day that we have in the gym. And then Saturday, a little rest. Sunday, I get out for a nice long run, move the body, shake it up a little bit. So today, low body for me. We're gonna start with an RDL.
got a little upper push. So one thing, you'll see this, that I'm gonna do right now, I'm doing pull-ups, but I'm gonna do a couple of sets supersetted with an overhead press, right? So compound work, but the pull-ups are gonna be done in a special fashion. I'm gonna do them with 1 rep at a time, but go from anywhere of 8 to 10 reps each set. So I'll hit 1 fast, hard rep to kind of get maximal output, neural output and muscle output right from the muscle, and really train the movement so that I get the most out of each rep instead of hitting 10 reps together and fatiguing. Right, I actually saw this as an interesting way that Stuart McGill, big in the industry for strength training, Dr. Stu McGill is known for his back exercises, rehab, but this is a way that he gets his power lifters and strongmen to actually improve their pull-ups, where they'll do like basically 30 sets of one and improve all maximal output, maximal strength, and maximal form, like efficient form on the rep. And that'll actually grow their ability to do pull-ups much better. And guys that are doing sets of 6 to 8 can almost do 20 pull-ups after a couple of weeks or months of doing this. So pretty interesting. Facing. Mike wants me to face you guys, but you got to see my back.
It also makes you feel a lot better when you do sets of one if you just can't do pull-ups. So
yeah, when you're a little chubby, it feels really good to pull on these sets. So that's it. But in all seriousness, before I was eating a ton of food and trying to gain my strength, probably back in like October, I hit my PR ever for straight pull-ups, which was 16. And I've never really been able to comfortably do more than like 11 or 12, like at my peak, like years ago when I weighed less. So that was pretty cool to see that direct result translate after doing this method for like a couple of weeks. And I'm trying to think of grabbing the bar as tight as I can, driving those elbows kind of in and down, and really creating tons of tension through the upper body and lats and upper back outlet. Pull-ups are actually more of a rear delt, right here, exercise, and trap exercise sometimes than they are a lat exercise. And people don't actually realize that because you're getting a lot more pulling here. Lats actually move a little bit more down towards the hip, but it's a little bit more upper back on a pull-up. And you could make it more lat dominant right here if you want to pull it towards the sternum a little bit and get more of this motion, if you can get up there, rather than pull it straight towards the chest. I think that was 6. Not going in the rack. Coming down. Normally I'd have the whole gym to use, but these guys had to work out with me today, so I couldn't use all the racks at once, you know.
Calm down.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Trying to obviously go heavy on the overhead, but this feels really heavy. See what happens. I'm also trying to get my palm around the bar a little deeper for the pull-up instead of just grabbing with my fingers. I feel a lot more powerful and like my nervous system connects more when I have that full grip, right? You can feel it if you're trying to do like a deadlift or something and your grip starts to slip towards the fingers, everything just feels weaker. So it's a similar thing with the pull-up. You're more in control. But it does hurt the calluses. How are we doing down there? It's too heavy. You're gonna hurt your back, man. Come on.
So here we're working RDLs, 3 sets at 8, but with a heavy weight. So here I want to feel something that feels like, you can think of your rep schemes, kind of always trying to push to you could use something like RPs or reps in reserve. It's kind of an easier way to kind of think about it. How many more reps could I have done at this weight in this set? So even here at sets of 8, kind of an RPE, or say reps in reserve, about 2, because right, kind of where's my form gonna fail? Here, I feel like if I hit 10, 11, maybe the grip will start to lose form a little bit. But 8, I know I'm pushing to a good level there. So trying to grip, keep tight. I don't use any straps for the weight to really just work the grip. Keep using and building overall strength. Trying to stay through that midfoot, drive the hips through. Yeah, probably at 12, but felt like work. So even on this work today, really focusing on two big moves to start. So 2 big compound moves. We're gonna go RDL and then switch over into a back squat, but not low rep, right? Somewhere in 8 to 10, 8 to 12 range. So I'll pop the bar up here, focus on my barbell back squat. Try to work depth, make sure it feels good, make sure the movement feels good, because on the opposite side of that, early in the week, I'm working with something a little bit heavier, 3 to 5 rep range. So here, you can really focus on the form, focus on how you feel, right, in that squat. That's a good complement to the strength phase or the strength workout in the beginning of the week. TJ, what do you think your mindset is going into your training, right, for right now, kind of as you're going into summer, doing some rec baseball?
So,
how do you switch up?
Going into summer, I think partially, right, if you're going into a baseball mindset, I'm spending more time this year on like my rotational basis, being a little bit more athletic again, and making my muscle mass useful. I was always very naturally flexible, so it's trying to kind of like get back to that after all the strength I've built, because you can kind of get very bound up. Even though I still have good ranges of motion, throwing 115 pitches on a Sunday in 95-degree heat like destroyed me last summer. Cardiovascular it got me, but I was in like pretty good shape and I could last, so my endurance was great. My muscle mass was great to be able to last me, but it was more so the rotational forces on my body. But now, right, I'm doing a plyo day, rotational kind of med ball work into the hips, really working on that throwing pattern. So my land hip gets the work. And then a day like this today, I'm just working on kind of density, range of motion, strength through ranges of motion, right, while still keeping my compounds heavy enough to be strong. So I'm gonna go, actually after this, I'm doing my last set of pull-ups. going into more of a deeper chest fly, right? A lot of people will talk about baseball players or pitchers or throwers. The old school mindset was to talk about how it's almost detrimental. They used to never have kids do overhead pressing or heavy work, and they never used to have them train like a football player, really, right? And that's how I was taught, but I think I attribute a lot of that to my injuries, because me being so flexible and having the mobility led to my injuries. I actually had way too much range of motion and didn't know how to control it and create tension. I didn't have enough integrity in my joints to be able to decelerate my arm when I was throwing with all the forces put on the elbow, right? You see guys tear ligaments left and right. I think I attribute that a lot. Obviously it's mechanics, it's a bunch of stuff and fatigue, but I didn't have that ability to use my strength on the field and translate it because I never had the wherewithal to build it up. Right? I was always thinking flexible was better. And now that I am stronger and a little bit more wound up tight, I can use that to my advantage if I get more to that athletic basis again. But it's also strengthening the muscles in the range of motion, right? The muscles, every muscle is working in your upper body when you're throwing. You need extreme ranges of motion, pec ranges, right? So if you look at a chest fly, right? People say it's simple, or they say it's going to hurt your shoulders if you're a thrower. Why? When you're doing it 120 times like this on the mountain, you're throwing through wild ranges of motion for the tissue, right? And there's almost way more force put on the joint than there is in a chest fly. So I'm going to go deep range of motion, work the muscles to their capacity, along with heavy weighted dips, right? Weighting that joint in range of motion, right? Just to keep that integrity and that tension to make sure that when it goes into that range, it's safe and it already has some built up durability from the strength training I've done. So that's pretty much my mindset. I think, you know, I also take these days away from the 8-well programming for me to get into stuff that I want to do a little bit more enjoyable for myself to hit an upper body day, but then like learn from it, right? Apply like the pull-up concept where I'm doing 1 rep at a time, a bunch of different sets of that single rep, and translate that, right? To see what I can learn, just gathering intel. Learning week after week, year after year, trying to piece together all this information so that I could just keep gathering and being a better trainer for myself and for the people that I'm training, right? So I think those are my 2 biggest goals, learning and also performing a little bit better, but thinking of my body and my training in more of an athlete sense now, rather than just gaining weight, getting stronger, and getting bigger.
Yeah, I think there's a good kind of mindset and discussion for people to think about that were athletes at some point in time, right? TJ was a baseball player, I played football, OC was a soccer player. All came from systems that trained you for the sport that you were playing.
Not even optimally at our point in time,
that's
right?
where I'm going to go,
Yeah.
right? Like not even in the best way, as TJ mentioned, right? He probably should have been doing some overhead strength work, and they said he shouldn't do it. I would say also, as a football player, if you're not in the best strength program, right? I know I was taught to never let your knees go past your toes, right? Our deadlift form wasn't great. Guys had terrible clean form, but those were the 3 exercises that you worked, and they kept loading the plates on. So I was stronger after I stopped playing football than I was playing, because I was able to focus more on the form of my exercises, right? On the range of motion, as opposed to purely just trying to get strong. So think about that too when you're training. It's how can I be strong in the correct range of motion? Because that's going to lead to overall capacity and overall strength building.
It's also a horrible power clean. For anyone who's watching that, I have the microphone on, so I'm not going to actually clean it and rack it, but horrible power clean form. I would do it if I had to, so that you know.
About maybe with me in the 5:30.
Yeah, I'm here.
About to turn that shit up.
Have to.
It's a little consistent.
choice.
You know? You gotta keep it going.
Yeah. What do you think about the 5:30 today?
I've high thoughts of it. You know, we've been on
Packed
one.
class. The vibes are always immaculate. Friday at 5.
Immaculate.
5:30.
Where else would you rather be? Immaculate vibes.
Yeah, we've
Come
been
from
on
work.
one.
Oh, she's been leading them through it, screaming at them.
Yeah.
Energy's high, music's on.
It's just a vibe. It's amazing. Great way to end up for Friday.
That's it.
You know? Nothing better than Drake and lifting weights.
Terrible.
Oh, all right.
Drake, terrible, I mean. Lifting weights,
My
great.
homie.
Drake, terrible.
We all know TJ's terrible. Taste in music.
What?
So,
Blink-182 is fantastic. So is AC/DC. I don't know what your problem is.
I mean, not here to get any haters, so I'll just agree.
I am. Drake is overrated. Are you using these 25s? Are you using the middle rack or the middle bench?
No. Jesus.
Are you using, Mike, you using that camera?
I think it's good to talk about too, how many days, right, training and being conscious of that. I think we spoke about it a little in the beginning, but I, even working, right, owning a studio, owning a gym, lifting essentially for a living, and having great access to it, I'm still only strength training probably 4, max 5 times a week, and that 5 is, that 5th day is more probably a movement day. It's not going to be straight strength work. So think about the programs that you're utilizing, not overtraining yourself so that you don't lose out on the gains and the goals that you have, right? You want to give yourself, your body, some time to recover, take advantage of the work that you put on it. What's more important, right, is the nutrition on the outside, the sleep, the water. It's got to complement kind of everything you do in the studio or in the gym.
I'm just going to spot Tyler here because we've been separate talking
No,
a
I'm
lot.
good. Yeah, no, I'm solid.
It looks
I'm
like
good.
he needs some
I'm
help.
good here.
I got
This is a good rep. This is a good weight for me. I'm fine.
Ah! That's good.
Thanks, man.
It's good reps. What do you guys think in the comments? You think that's a good
I
squat?
didn't realize you stayed there the whole time. You know, I figured you'd leave at some point.
It was clean. I'm never leaving that. Are you kidding me?
Appreciate it. That's just the support everyone needs, you know? Even when you don't need it. For incline? For incline?
What? What? Oh, do it. Knock in, man. We're just lifting. Woo. So working on a little dumbbell row as an accessory to my upper press. Movements go hand in hand, right? I like to pair a lot of things. From vertically moving, I like to also do the opposite vertical motion. Same thing with horizontal. Bench pressing, it's an incline. I'm also pairing it with the flat fly. But this, I'm trying to kill a bunch of birds here, get my strength, keep it up. It's a 90-pound dumbbell, right? I can use something heavier if I want, but working on controlling the eccentric, and I'm also working on actually stabilizing. That's why my legs kicked out, locking my lumbar spine, my lower, into a certain amount of place, right? So I'm in my hips a little bit, and I'm rotating through my upper back as I'm rowing and pulling the dumbbell, giving the lat the work, the rear delts the work, a lot of everything moving through that rotational basis for my upper, right? Especially opposing the weight, so slowing that negative down as I resist rotation. going too crazy on the reps. Just feeling it. So I want to talk about my day of eating. 1 second.
Oh yeah.
But eating before this, we were in a rush. I had the morning today, 6, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. session, right? Had a quick, right, everybody needs their morning bathroom break. Quick bathroom break in the morning, but while the 9:15 was starting, OC was getting them going. I was trying to coach, do that, popped out for a sec, was able to make a little protein yogurt with a banana, a little bit of maple syrup. Knew I was gonna need the carbs loaded a little bit before, because I knew a few hours later we're lifting, right? But we're doing the podcast before that also. So the time was crunched between talking to members, training them, eating that quick, and then I was able to actually also go out and grab rotisserie chicken, 5-minute out and in, whip that up with some leftover sweet potatoes I had, rotisserie chicken, half an avocado. That was 2 meals in today, right? What time is it? 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2-ish. So we're rocking, right? Making sure I got my food in because I knew I was going to be having to use it. I knew I needed the energy, wanted to meet my protein, right? So I probably got 80, 90 grams of protein in between those 2 meals, maybe even more. My goal is 200, just over 200 grams of protein a day. So talking about how does that look on a daily basis, right? Are you intaking something in the morning and capitalizing on it? Or are you overwhelmed with work and not planning ahead the day prior or the weekend prior in order to set those things ahead to be able to hit them, right? Knowing that Thursday and Friday I have an extremely busy day straight through from 5:30, 6 a.m. all the way till 5:30 p.m. both days. How am I gonna find my meals and work out and do what I have to do, right? So finding those non-negotiables for yourself, like eating enough protein to create the change and hit the goals you want, I think that's a huge part, and everyone needs to manage a little bit better, right? So for me, got it done today, checked off the box. Four, 3, 2, deep, drive up, yep. Work. Whew. Okay, back to it. If I get a deeper fly.
So here, working so hit my 2 compound moves, moving on to a little more accessory work. Try and focus on a little more power, a little more functional work as well. So like throw in the kettlebell swing, hit the hammies, glutes, right, core. I'm gonna complement that with a little all floated Bulgarian split squat. So I'll go leg that you're working, holding that same side, ensuring you have to stay into that leg in order to drive back out, right, create a little power off that leg. But even today, which works better for a day like today because it's not as heavy for me. So got 1 meal in, but it's a nice size omelet. They gave some toast and potatoes. Didn't know the potatoes, but should have because I didn't get to have lunch. So, but using that, and then also obviously always have my dried mango before a workout. So about 25, 30 minutes before, put down a good amount of dried mango, because I knew I wasn't going to have lunch. So making sure I just had good carbs, good sugars to ensure I had a good workout. But a lot of that is just, right, preparing for the day you're going to have. So knowing where you're going to be today, what meetings you have, where your kids need to be. Can you get your protein in, get your water in before your workout to ensure that it's the best one you can have for that day, right? And it's not going to be a fault for you there.
Taking a little content day. Actually shifted the podcast to get our workout in. During it, talk a little bit. Osiris lifts in the back. Ty. Michael crushing it. Need some of that. Don't do it enough. And while we're training, trying to film, do stuff, getting messages by clients, switching sessions, doing certain things, making certain things happen, right? So like, got the management.
Got on my shot.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, sorry. So while we're talking about the day, right, talking about managing work-life balance, there is none really sometimes, but we're working out, filming, and tending to certain clients, texting, right, updates for trying to swap sessions, manage, right, different hours of the business. So it's like managing what needs to be tended to.
Yeah,
and I think it's like we were about to do this, right, but we had someone walk in, look for the IV hydration that we offer, as well as potentially look for our, our training. So it's a 15-minute conversation in the middle of our filming session, but had to be done. Got it done, kept it moving, right? It's part of just being in the business, doing what we have to do, and I'm sure everyone feels the same way, whether it's a kid's practice getting switched, something throwing them off, but I think the important thing, it's like we have had workouts completely cut out for the day or have cut down half, but we're trying to just get what we can in and keep moving because we know it's about the long haul and not just being so upset by that one day and 1 hour, right?
I think one good thing to think about too is we'll both do it. It's like if your planned 1 hour got cut down to 20 minutes, it's like how efficient can you make that 20 minutes, right? It's shorten the warm up, get right into the work. Maybe you circuit 4 exercises and really just try to find it. But if that day was built into the habit of you getting to work out, try to see if you can get it in. If not, right, we're just back in here the next day, kind of trying to find the work and get back on track.
Yeah, and I've run into sessions before where clients have a 1 o'clock book, and they're like, hey, I have a call, I'm not gonna be there till 1:30. And I'm like, sorry, we'll have to cut it down to a half hour. I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for that experience that I've had to cut my workout down, because now I'm more experienced to know what I'm gonna give them is gonna get them that result that they want still in that half hour as opposed to that full hour. So it's interesting, even taking something from everything, gathering intel from your own day and your own stresses and saying, wait a second, like this is like actually a positive thing if we only have 20 minutes instead of an hour to get all of our work in. How can we make that efficient for us and translate that to become an even better product for ourselves and our business, right?
Yeah, I think our standard one-on-one sessions and even our group classes are 50 minutes to an hour. But if I have a client that has 30 minutes, promise you we can get the work done in that 30 minutes, and you can get the work done in 30 minutes if that's all you have, right? But it's just utilizing that time efficiently, right? And also having a good program to work off of.
Whew. Let's get this fan on, actually. Is that cool? Whew.
Yeah, it's gonna get warm in here.
A little bit. Woo!
Push.
Ah.
get sore?
From?
We-
Do we? I'm
we
sore
get
every
sore.
day.
I mean,
I'm not dilapidated. I'm not killed where I can't like get up and down
Yeah.
the stairs. But
think-
I feel some sort of tenderness every day.
I get sore sometimes. Right now I've been dealing with this knee thing, which I've been just saying to everybody because it's more pissing me off.
But different soreness and
Putting it out.
pain.
Yeah. But like, I think on a squat day, a leg day, or a deadlift day, when the rep ranges or tempos change big time,
Yeah, that first day, week of the phase.
yeah, it's always gonna happen with a new adaptation or movement or rep scheme, right? If you're going from 3 reps to 12 reps, it's a big difference on volume on the muscle. So that's probably gonna be soreness, right? But we're pretty well trained. I haven't missed probably more than 3 or 4 days in a row of working out. Taken more than that off probably in like 10 years. But there's always room for soreness with adaptation. But I can kind of gauge what's going to hit me. It's interesting in my own workouts trying to find how to make my chest more sore with changing up reps, ranges, schemes, all this different stuff, right? But I can somewhat gauge it. It's interesting because some days, I mean, like in our phases, like a walking lunge
Yeah.
might hit like crazy, and my glutes and inner thighs are wildly sore for 3 days, and I didn't think I worked them that heavy. And then we'll go and do something that felt extremely hard, like 3 sets of 10 heavy on a squat, and I don't really feel that sore at all, even though it perceived like I was gonna be sore because of how hard it felt. But it's kind of relative. But I would say new adaptations and new volume really is what hits the most depending on the day.
Yeah. I think we find a way also to push ourselves so our level of what probably feels like sore, right, is kind of very manageable and fine for us. I think that also, yeah, not chasing getting sore, but that's not indicative of necessarily a good workout, but also finding ways to push yourself kind of each workout to create new adaptations, right, so you don't get stagnant, go into plateaus. So even at, right, I think same, I probably in 18 years, right, haven't missed more than 3 days doing an exercise, right, so probably gone on vacation where there wasn't a gym, but find a way to move the body and keep going. So even with that, like not necessarily being killed from soreness, but I know personally, someone asks, I'm sore every day, right? I live in it, and that's because I push myself, but I'm never too sore to do something, right? Right, like people are saying they can't get up the stairs because of a workout, right? Should never feel like that unless you just did something you've never done before and at a level you've never done it before. We're talking, you ran a marathon, you ran a half marathon, right? You're pushing yourself at that level. Other than that, your everyday training shouldn't get you there. Big fan of kettlebell swings too when you're short on time. Work a lot of different muscles, get the heart rate up, core, right? Legs are working, you can work the upper body as well, right? You can just work some rounds of kettlebell swings. Good functional movement for the hips. Think about putting them in.
What's your approach right now, Ty, with summer?
For me,
What are your goals right now?
kind of beginning of the year, I like to push heavy, almost you could say bulking a little bit, working for strength. That finishes it up about like this month. I know this doesn't feel like this is just a kind of compliment move day. But then as I get to April, kind of push to June, I always like to implement more movement because I know I'm going to want to be outside just doing some what could feel like athletic things. So I want to do a race, right? I want to be able to run outside by myself. I want to be able to play some games, whatever I'm doing. So I always kind of implement that stuff, kind of starting April 1st. And then that probably leads to a little bit of cutting down as well. So I'll just kind of complement what I'm eating as well, because hey, come summer, I'm down to look a little more shredded than I did in January. So I make sure all the things kind of work together. So keeping a strength focus, but knowing some of that's probably gonna be lost from not eating the calories to support getting stronger from April to June, but adding a lot more movement, dynamic movements, a little more fun on the track and the field, run around, just feel like an athlete again. That's the hardest part, right? If you've been someone that's been trying to chase heavier squats, heavier deadlifts, heavier benches, and then you come into summer and you want to show some abs, right? Or you want to lean up a little bit, you got to know one is going to give, right? So you're not going to be able to be as strong as you were when you were bulking and working on strength as you are in the summer if you're trying to cut, right? But you give one, it also allows your body to kind of cycle through some of these things and allows you to focus on different things. So think about focusing on something other thing during that period as you're going into summer if you do want to lean out a little bit. If you don't, keep doing your thing. If you do, right, focus on, all right, I'm doing it for this reason. When we come back into the end of the year, right, I'm gonna get back into my strength phase, and you'll feel even better for it, right? You'll rest the joints a little bit.
Setting up for some dips, some weighted dips. We don't do these a lot. We don't really do these in our groups. It's tough to set up in the studio. Thinking of putting them in for some like back bench dips. They do put the shoulder in a pretty vulnerable range of motion. If you build strength in them, whether you do a bench dip or a real dip, it's actually phenomenal for the shoulder to put it into that range, but slowly strengthen it. It's tough to gauge. A lot of people generally have shoulder impingements, pains, different issues like that, so it's not going to be too big of a movement. For us in our studio, maybe slowly, but I love it for myself. Like I said, range of motion for the shoulder, the full pec and delt work. I feel like my bench press, all my pressing has gone up and been stronger because of the dip. Like if you can learn how to do it and strengthen the whole outlet, your shoulders are like closer to being bulletproofed, in my opinion, right? Just from what I've seen from my own experience. I have very, very large range of motion ability, but strengthening that range of motion has been major, right? Weighting it in a smart way, knowing where I should push myself with the weight hanging from me when I'm doing them. We get to in a sec, but yeah. Grab a little weight in here. Work here today. little struggle, that's what you want. Felt good. Trying to focus on controlling the negative as much as I can. I'll put this back over here. That was kind of challenging. I'm gonna stay there. It's like 53 pounds. Wanna control it and get deep. I've been going, if you look at this, the bar is kind of like this with the handles. Some dip bars are just straight, where no matter where you grab, it's equal. This goes out, so I'm grabbing towards the bottom a little bit to find a wider set position for my shoulders to get out. Way more vulnerable for the shoulder. If you have shoulder problems, I wouldn't recommend starting there. Work a little narrow and develop this narrow basis of press with your bench press, with all your pressing. Go a little more narrow. You'll have an ability to work the range of the motion of the pec, put the shoulder at less of a disadvantage, and recruit your lats and rear delts for back support, right? So that's a huge part of pressing, right? A lot of the support muscles are behind the actual item that's doing the work to stabilize the shoulder, right? You're also gonna get more tricep work if you stay narrow. So it's doing basically everything for the shoulder, the chest, and the tris that you want. Going wider, people think it works you to a greater pec range, when actually it decreases range of motion, puts your shoulders in a more vulnerable state, a more vulnerable position, and only works the front delts, or overly works the front delts, right? So if you get here, right, bar touches your chest here, if you all of a sudden go more narrow, now you have to get here to get to the chest. So you just gain an inch or two of range of motion, and it's healthier for the shoulder to function that way. So that was my goal. Started there on dips, slowly moved myself wider so that I could find that more deltoid work on that movement, because it is very delt dominant, very deep range of motion. Kettlebells with this. Actually, yeah, we'll go kettlebell.
Throwing in a little tri set to finish. So 3 exercises. Got a farmer's walk, hanging knee raise, and then I got a little front foot elevated split squat. So I like to think about my workouts too, improving things that I'm probably weakest at or need help with. So even though, so I can build that within my program, still strengthen, still have a good workout. So I throw in this little front foot on the angle to really not drive my knee forward. Don't have great ankle mobility, so always trying to work on my things that aren't great, kind of get them better, sneak them into my workouts, right, in order to improve them kind of each time I can. What?
No, I was doing something. He was like, no, don't do that on camera. Oh, God.
Let's see this.
Cool. So my 245 just moved. And I think you said Nikki's pushed away,
Yeah.
pushed back.
Yeah.
Session. All right, cool. So George just moved too. Look at that.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they told us before, you know?
Yeah. Like yesterday.
But we'll take it. Gotta adapt to your environment, you know? The environment affects you, so you find a way to put your schedule together, right? To adapt in ways that's gonna make you most successful for the day. And as it changes, you're already adapted, right? It's fine. You already put the work in. So, right, now our workout's gonna be done. We can do some other things because other people move sessions, so we'll be able to fit in some other work, maybe more content for you, maybe just some other work we gotta do. But that's it. It's adapt to what's around you.
I'm just going to cry and be a little upset the rest of the day. But I'm going to take it out on my other clients. It's okay. I'll just have a more angry session for them just because someone else canceled. So and sometimes that works too. Stub the toe. It's all right. We're tough.
So subs are tough though. They don't feel good. I take a lot of things over at stub toe, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo! One more. Woo.
Oh yeah.
I could feel the heat, like the humidity today. Just having a day that's not like under 50 degrees. Now in March, I'm like sweating significantly more because of the slight increase in temperature. It's probably like 64 outside, but like going from 42 to 64 is like, I could feel it right now.
No idea what that meant.
You don't know?
No, not you. I'm not talking about you.
Oh, the other guy behind the camera. Oh. No,
Michael's just throwing up gang signs.
calling audibles behind the. Those are gang signs?
Something. Gotta find it.
What are you trying to find?
You gotta find it.
I don't know what that means. Woo. How often would you say you look at yourself in the mirror and flex? Like throughout the week, daily basis maybe?
0.
No way.
Never look in the mirror and flex.
He's lying.
I don't gotta flex in the mirror.
He's lying.
Mirror flexes back at me, you know?
See, that's just exactly the product that tells you that it's lying. It's a lie.
I already know it's there, you know? Are there even mirrors in here?
I like reminding myself that I'm basically just delts and glutes. It's like my entire body. Just big old, one big delt glute combo. Try not to pull your microphone here, your wire. See what this looks like. Last set here. Following like 3 sets of everything. And it's, for me on this day, right, obviously the workouts are drawn up on the board for what the class is doing, and I'm trying to get the most out of those days. But then taking this as well, saying like 2 to 3 top sets of heavy weight to get the most out of those sets, but not overdo it. Because I'm still looking at it as a day to gain strength and be efficient, but not to get wildly sloppy and make it like a hypertrophy bodybuilding day where in college I used to be in the gym hitting chest, tris, and shoulders. Remember me and a friend, shout out to Presley, I remember this I think it was like a Friday afternoon from like 2:30 we got there maybe after class, and we literally were doing chest flies, bench press, every single chest workout and maybe some tri workout you could ever imagine. We looked at the clock and it was like 5 p.m., 5:30. Like 3 hours later of just doing chest and tris, and wild, right? And it's like now I might have an hour or 45 in the beginning of the day talking about what we were saying earlier, to capitalize on the lift, get it done, be efficient, learn something from it maybe, and get the work in that we want, right? So it's a huge part, especially having energy after, for another 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to train on the floor, and then other stuff to tend to, right? So as your life changes, your training style changes, but hopefully your work becomes more efficient and not just less. And I think that's something to say for everything, every aspect of life, right? More efficient with your food, with your sleep, with what you're doing, with your relaxation time, more efficient with your job, your work. Don't know if I'm going to make this one. Reset, give me one more. Woo! Come on, cheer, get in here. You can get in the camera, let's go. Let's see some camera time over here, come on. He's shy. Michael's shy. Woo! Also, hack here, if you got a little chub down below and you wear a belt like this, it makes everything look a little bigger because it kind of pulls the waistline and pulls down on your little love handle. You don't know what I'm talking about. Just go back to your phone.
Makes what look bigger?
The upper body, the taper, gives you a bigger taper.
Just telling you guys to wear corsets.
These are just tricks that he wouldn't understand because he doesn't really know what I'm talking about.
That's good work. All right, way to make it happen. You done?
Yeah, I could be done. I think I got one more row, but after that.
Get it.
After that.
It's a good day.
Would you wanna?
Good push.
Would you wanna?
What I wanna.
Do some barbell curls, finish up just the barbell, like go back and forth for like sets of 10 or like up to like 40 or 50 curls each and just be done. I know you did a leg day, but.
And I did arms yesterday. But. I'm not fucking scared. No barbell curls. We can get it in any day. So yeah, let's do it.
Throw these back. We'll do a quick barbell curl, no weight on it. Rep it out, get a little pump. Feel good about ourselves, you know? It's gonna be fun.
Oh, she's got a little, what are you working on?
Some accessory work.
See, that's it, right? Throwing Turkish get-ups in just to improve them. That's it, right? Work on the things that you may be weak in, but you gotta recognize where your strengths are, where they're not.
Yeah. Embrace the crappy stuff.
And when you've got to show an entire class how to do a Turkish get-up, you better be able to do a Turkish get-up, right?
And when a class member,
Especially with the red ones.
when a class member challenges you to do the red, which is a 70-pound kettlebell and above, to model a Turkish get-up, got to be ready for that, you know? So.
All right, what do you want to do?
You want to go back and forth? How you want to do it?
Do you want to go to a number and switch? Or you want to break, like come down a ladder, up a ladder?
I don't know. Whatever you think. 20 what? Yeah, right.
That's why you don't play that way.
Yeah.
That shit hit.
Let's get it.
That's why you do that shit.
Let's just rock.
Let's go.
Say you want to get 50?
50 total I'll do. So you do minimum, or you do maximum clip, right? As many as you could do first clip, hand it off. As many as you could do right-handed off.
So max 50 a clip.
So no, goal is, we could pick a total number. I'm just saying 50, but like if we do the push-up challenge, right, and the number on the board, like today was push-ups by 40 with other exercises. They got to get to 40 any way they can. We could do 50, 60, so what do you want to do?
We could do 40. We could do 50 of this straight.
Maybe. Gets tough. You know when you properly contract the bicep and you have good form.
All right, let's
and
rock.
not just big muscles to show, you know.
Balloon muscles.
We'll see. Let's see where we want to go.
Both
Nice,
these
controlled.
Both these at Party City.
Right? No weights. Looking to get a little bro pumping right here. Why not? Try not to rock too much. Trying to control it. I think that's 8, 9. Go 20. Take it. Whew, so that feels good.
I'm good. No worries.
Jeez, it's not what he says when there's no camera. That's crazy. It's nice. What'd you hit?
20.
Go for another.
30.
30.
Yeah. You see that sweat?
Woo! Fucking burn.
Where you at?
5, 4. Nope. Break the mirror.
Yeah, it's all right. It's already been done before.
Yeah, by my cousin. Shout out to Brian. Thanks, man.
Before we even opened, CJ's cousin came in here and broke our mirror.
Yeah, he just put us in more of a deficit right off the beginning. My shoulders are fucking burning from that. Chew! My shoulders, man. That feels good. It's a burn right there.
Yeah, that's real. Come on, one more?
Yeah, let's go one more. Do what we can. So total, that was 50 actually right there, which would have been a number. I like to grab the bar and just go sometimes. Low weight. You feel the bicep. Other stuff starts to take over, but just a lot of volume. Feels good. Let's see what we got. Go 10 more. Thanks. Ha! Take it.
Yeah.
That's fucking burning. That's burning. I can't flex them anymore. Whew. You know, it's all about functional training. Functional, right? Whatever that means. But compound lift, full body work, free weight work.
Yeah.
You gotta get some fun work in sometimes. Pump, classic arm workout, arm day. And it's good accessory work too, right? Not that this is extremely conducive, but working on grip, working on completely supinating
Working on
those
biceps.
wrists, right? Yeah, working on biceps, the most important thing, right? But anytime you can get wrist work, sometimes I'll pick up a barbell and I'll do barbell curls for the first time in a while, and my wrist is just nagging because my forearms haven't been in that fully supinated position to curl and do work. You're talking about going into chin-ups. Sometimes it's hard to even get there, and my grip and forearm strength falters because that position isn't worked, right? So part of it is even taking these movements because I'm a little bit of an extremist in certain things and trying to focus on the little things to be functionally better, right?
So you keep doing that. I know there's a big thing about like,
Yeah.
what is functional?
Yeah.
But I think that if we can agree that functional is being able to move better in life,
Yeah.
right? Movements that you actually do, because I get it. Everyone wants to say everything they're doing is just functional. Now it's
Yeah.
like the hottest term on the street, but I think the way I see and feel functional being, I want to be able to functionally move when I'm 75, when I'm 80, okay?
Yeah.
So what things translate into that? What's going to help me sit better, stand up better, get out of cars, go hiking, right? What workouts are you doing or that? But I understand that everything's being called functional now, so like you almost have to grain of salt
There's
with
a
it,
stigma with
right?
it.
And everyone's calling anything that's not just a standard heavy workout, right? A functional movement. So it's be wary of how people are using functional, but think about the things that you want to be able to do and be able to do in your life, and if those should translate to the workouts that you do as well.
Yeah. I would use even the word just intentional
Yeah.
over functional, right? You have a kid in your hand, carrying a baby, you're always supinated, right? I've seen people have nerve problems because they're carrying a kid like this for 6 months because they just had a baby, but they haven't done it ever, right?
Real life problems.
It's real, right? So
Definitely
as
have one
stupid as
bicep that's
this
bigger
is-
than the other, just from that.
No,
No, you're
you got look at that physique.
very, very symmetrical. But you're like this all day.
All right, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking this video out,
Ready to come for some work?
watching it. Feel free to hit us up. What do you want to see next? If you haven't checked out the podcast, check out our podcast, the Well Life Podcast.
Threw some things in today, right?
Yeah.
Also for a good upper day, good lower day. Try them out yourself. Try one individual workout yourself. Yeah, check out the Well Life Podcast, the YouTube page. Check out the Instagram. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, send it.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.